So then, a couple of weeks in, Darren, what do you feel you've learnt so far? Clearly the frustration of the red cards to have lost quite a big proportion of 2 games, I guess is quite annoying with the development, but what do you feel you've learnt?
Well, you're always learning. You know, the players are a fairly quiet bunch. We're short on confidence, and obviously results change that, hopefully, you know, quickly. It's been frustrating because all the stuff that you work on going into a game on a Saturday has been squashed really by the fact that we can't keep 11 men for 90 minutes. And in both games I thought we would have won them. I know it's easy to say that, but certainly the Plymouth game, the changes we were going to make to formation, I think we would have caused them a problem. And as you've seen in that second half, they didn't cause us too many problems. And the Doncaster game, I felt it was teed up for us to get more goals. But you have to deal with these certain things. They're a good bunch. They want to learn. But it is really about winning games, and we need to get back to that.
Yeah, the M word, momentum, is absolutely key, isn't it? If you can get that first win, then it gives you the platform.
It does, and I feel that will be the case. I think the players do as well. We need to build up momentum again, and you know, I think we've only won 3 in 16, I think it is. So the form's not there at the moment, but it can change quickly, and that's what we're looking to do. Staying positive, persevering in everything we want to do in terms of how we want to play. But no, I've really enjoyed it, really enjoying it, and apart from the results, which is the main thing, but there's circumstances around that, I feel.
When it comes to the maths, would be winning half of the remaining games, would that be roughly what you think you'll need to get in the top 6?
No, I think you need more than that. I think you need more than that. But you don't know. You just don't know. In any given season, you don't know. We've been relegated with 54 points, and anything's possible. So we'll wait and see. The next one's the most important one, and then we build from there. But I do feel that, you know, if we get that win, we will build some momentum. It's the last third of the season. There's going to be loads of twists and turns, and I've been in this position many times, and to know that, not just with us and not with teams directly above us, there's going to be twists and turns as the season continues. Whether you're playing teams at the bottom or teams that are challenging for something, they're all going to be difficult games. But we've got to take care of ourselves. The most important thing is our performance, and if we get a level of performance right, if we get a bit of luck in the game, then I think we'll start winning games.
Yeah, still looking for that momentum in terms of the results, but presumably the first half last weekend gives you something to work with in terms of momentum for performance levels?
Well, that's what we spoke about on Monday mainly. The positive things from the game. It restricted them to, I think, 1 half chance, and obviously Tyler hit the post, his own post. That was just a lapse of concentration and communication. But looked threatening, looked a threat. I thought the front three did very well for us. Marcus looked a real threat, and I thought we were in control of the game. So we just need to be a bit more ruthless, you know. Chances like at 1-0, Ivan's chance. I know it's a good save. He had a couple of good chances. The goals were given away, regardless of whether you've got 11, 10, 9 men. They're not good enough. So we need to be a bit more ruthless in both boxes.
When it comes to Oxford, I guess looking at their record, one of the first things you'd say about them, clearly quite hard to beat, aside who've had a number of draws. Yeah,
they've got some very good players, and they've done well against teams around the top. You know, drew with Sunderland, beat Portsmouth. So it'll be a tough game, as they all are. We've done a lot of preparation for it, and it's up to the players now to put a performance on and get a result. And if it's a horrible, scrappy 1-0, I'll take it now, because we need to get that sort of result to build that momentum. But they've got strengths to their team, as every team has. They've got certain players we need to be mindful of. They're scrapping for their lives. You know, no one would have really expected them to be down the bottom this year, but they are, and they're in a dogfight. But you know, we need the points as much as they do.
And of course, Carl Robinson, a manager that you've come across probably as many as or as often as any other.
Yeah, he's still a young man, Carl, and he's been around a long time. Started his managerial career very, very young. Had a certain way of playing that he does. He's gone through all his management career, wherever club he's at, he's played a certain way. It'll be a good footballing match, and you know, I'll see him after the game. I've got a lot of respect for him and know him probably as well as anyone, really.
When it comes to the injury situation for this weekend, Danny Lafferty, someone you've been waiting on, is he good to go?
Yeah, Lafferty's trained, so we'll see if there's any reaction. Wardy the same. There's one or two with illnesses and knocks, so we're not 100% certain with my selection because of that. So we'll know more in 24 hours. But certainly looking at last week and the positives we took out of that, we'll try and continue that again.
What would be the options if Danny Lafferty isn't fit? You had Tyler Denton, of course, last weekend, but he's now suspended.
Yeah, we've got options. We've got options. You know, it's not uncommon to see fullbacks playing on the opposite side that they normally do. We can play with different formations that'll help, perhaps a wing back rather than a fullback. There's plenty of options we've got. And
with Joe Ward, great, there's far better news than you originally thought, but a case of just being a little bit careful with him.
Yeah, there's no break, that was always going to be the most important thing. You know, if it's broke, he could be out for a long time. We already had the blow of Dembele being out for pretty much the season, so we were thankful we got a bit of luck and we got a bit of good news on that front. So he'll train. He trained today, and we'll find out if there's any reaction tomorrow.
Yeah, because he will have a big part to play, won't he? As you say, particularly with Sariki being unavailable, you want that extra dimension of a player that can really get chalk on his boots, if you like, and get the crosses in.
Yeah, he's done well. I've been very pleased with him. He gives us energy. He's technically fine on the ball, but he gives us that energy up and down the right. And I've been very, very pleased with him. And he's a lovely lad. He wants to learn. Trains very, very well. Listens. I've been very pleased with him.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have wanted to lose Lee Tomlin for last weekend, but I guess one of the benefits is he been able to really dial down on his fitness over the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, we've done a lot of fitness work because we obviously before all the games we couldn't do it. So we've got a bit into him. But I've got a lot of attacking options. You know, I've got Ivan. I've got Matty Gordon, who's I think's a really good player with a fantastic movement. I've got Tomo, I've got Marcus, I've got Coops. I can't get them all on the team, so I'll have to find a way. Or I could, but it would be probably if we're going for it. But no, I've got some very good players at the top end of the pitch. It's just finding a way of making it work for the balance.
Yeah, it's finding that right combination, and I guess that's the challenge, isn't it, for those players involved to really stake a claim for a place.
Yeah, and like I said, I felt the ones that played last week in those positions did well, but we'll see what happens obviously on Saturday.
Yeah, and talking of momentum, of course, that's an area where the ball gets rolling, isn't it? If you start getting the wins, you would imagine it's because some of those attacking players are knocking in goals and the confidence comes back and on you go.
Yeah, we've not scored enough goals for whatever reason. The goal difference comes into it as well. We're way behind on that, so we need to address that. But first things first, we need to get a win, and I think that's all we're looking at on Saturday.